Hey everyone, welcome to Sketch Day Live. I've got a little dude behind me, at least I think I do. There he is.
Hi.
Anyhow, today has been interesting. Are you gonna hang out?
Hmm?
Okay. Today's been interesting. Lots of updates, exciting things happening. But in any case, I'm gonna fulfill a promise I made to Latrice. I wonder if Latrice is here today. I don't know if he is here, but I'm gonna work on so just some Illustrator, Photoshop stuff. Looking at creating just a design, and we'll put it on a T-shirt, and then I'll start drawing and doing some other stuff. Okay. Um, you good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out over
Mm-hmm.
my shoulder. Okay. Anyhow, hope you guys had a good day. Hope you're doing well. I'll give a couple people a minute to trickle in here. Just a sec. It's a little bit different because I'm not going to warm up per se. So let me see if I can switch over here. Yes, Francisco, thank you. Yeah, so I won an award today. It was the IDSA Industrial Design Society of America Individual Achievement Award. And that's typically given to people who've made some contribution to the profession. So it came as a surprise to me. Actually, I knew about it a few weeks ago. Came as a surprise. Wasn't expecting. Didn't apply for it. Nothing like that. So kind of been a bit of a surreal day. Just not knowing why I got this thing. I've always tried to just approach my work with passion and love, and just doing what I do because I love it. So a bit surreal in that way. All right, I'm gonna switch over here. So this is a design Latrice sent to me. Um, and I was trying to pull up in the Discord as well. Yeah, there it is. So we've got this little JPEG here. All right, so I wanted to just put my spin on it, or at least come up with something graphical that represented. He calls it Lady Blue. So I'm just going to take this and create my interpretation of it. This is Adobe Illustrator for those who've never used it. It is a vector-based app that Adobe has. You guys can check out. Let me turn on my picture-in-picture so you guys can see me. Yes, I'm a monster. I have tons of notifications up. Whoa, tons of notifications up today. I probably should have closed all my other apps, because every time I tap somewhere now, you guys are going to see. Let me turn on hiding here. Boom. All right, this should be better. Okay, so this is Adobe Illustrator. I'm going to go ahead and create another artboard. In fact, I don't like this layout. Let's see if I can... Window. I just got this new laptop and I haven't messed with it too much. So I'm switching the layout here. Thank you, Art Svetlana. Much appreciated. Okay, so here's Illustrator. I've got this artboard. A couple things I'm going to do here. Looks like Latrice was working in Illustrator too, so I hope I don't have to explain too much, but if you guys get lost, do let me know. There's a couple options I want to tweak here. Let's see. There's it's like copy artboard contents. Let's see. Okay, it's gonna copy the artboard contents. I don't want to do that. I'll just go ahead and lock, because I can't find where everything is. So I'm just gonna lock those elements on my artboard, and now I will duplicate this artboard. Okay, just ignore that. It's always interesting when you get a new machine and you don't copy all your settings over. It's kind of like you have to do it all over again. So, and thank you for the congrats. It's like I said, it's been a bit of a surreal day, because looking at the list and some of the people there, I don't feel like I've made nearly as many contributions as they have. Okay, so I've got this. I wish I could show you Illustrator on the iPad. It's coming out soon. They have actual symmetry tools for vectors as well, but what I like to do in instances like this is try and simplify as much as possible my shapes. Okay, so I may start with something like this. Just looking at Latrice's design here. Let's see. Something like that. I'm going to drag this one down. like so. And then I'll create the interpolations or interpretation of that in between. All right. So let's go ahead here. And to do that, I usually just pick the shape. So I can pick these two shapes, and we have an option in the window. We have an option in the window called Pathfinder. Sorry, my kids are just on one today. All right. And I'm just going to add some anchor points, and then now I can subtract and kind of modify this. I'm not really concerned about the right side here because I can just mirror the design when I'm done. But like I was saying, Illustrator on the iPad will actually do your symmetry live. I need to lock my guides, so I'm going to go to View, Guides, Lock Guides. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and drag this up a little bit. So again, this is just going to be my interpretation, not meant to be exactly the same as Latrice's here. But Latrice has been very patient, waiting for me to do this demo. So I thought I would knock it out today, then we'll get back to some regular drawing stuff. All right, so if you're just joining, this is Sketch a Day. Oh, so I just cut that path like with a scissor tool. Now I'm going to delete that. And again, if this is super confusing, my apologies. All right, so now I'm going to create another curve down here. I'm going to try it, like I said, try and keep somewhat true to this design, but now that I have these curves, I can manipulate things. It's a different way of thinking about drawing, if you will. And you can almost sketch and manipulate these curves here. So these are called Bezier or Bezier curves. I'm not sure what the exact pronunciation is, but in any case, that is what they're called. All right, so I'm going to start with something like that. Okay, so I think I have enough here. I'm going to join these two shapes actually eventually. So I could do that now. I could just cut these circles, delete what I don't need, and then I'll just go ahead and connect. So just trying to keep it a bit more, what's the word? Gestural in the shapes. Okay, a little bit more gestural, but also getting the symmetry in. If I want to see the symmetry, I can pick that shape, and then, hey Nick, we're just doing a quick vector t-shirt demo thing for Latrice here, as I promised. Now, Latrice, I don't know if you're placing all your circles individually on this page, but there's some easy ways to do this. All right, there's some easy ways to do this. So once we get the main shape here, I'm going to show you a couple of things. The other thing I like to do when I'm working with curves is just start with pure geometry. All right, so even the arm here, let me go ahead and make this invisible. Even the arm here, right? If I want to get a nice curve in, I'm just going to start with either a circle or ellipse, rotate that, put that where I need it to be. And it's just going to make it that much easier. Okay, so maybe a shape like that. And then I can duplicate this shape. And I'm going to use the rotate tool, click on this anchor point, and now I can rotate down to where I want the other part of the hand to be. Actually, I'm going to put the point there, rotate. So you can see now I can get an easy curve for that arm. Okay, something like that. And let's see, Pathfinder. Shapes need to be in the right order. Okay, so let me see here. I'm going to put this one on top. Pick these two shapes. Hit my minus front shape, and now I have this shape here. I can throw that behind and just position that close to where I want it to be. Okay, something like that. I'm going to go ahead. If you want to lock something on the canvas when you're in Illustrator, just hit Control 2 or Command 2. And that's going to lock it in place. Handy if you want to pick something behind, or if you just want to get into the details of the vector lines, you can zoom in and see that. I'm going to go ahead and cut here, cut here. Let's delete what we don't need. And we'll have to do some cleanup once I unlock these shapes. Or I can just grab this anchor point and move it until it snaps close enough here. All right. Something like that. And now I'm going to merge these shapes. But if I zoom in, you'll notice there's a little bit of a jog in this line. So I got to fix that. Okay, so there's an anchor point here, anchor point there. Looks like I can actually just delete that anchor point and that one. And now I have a somewhat smooth line. But like I said, Illustrator on the iPad has some things that this version of Illustrator will not do. So one of the things that Illustrator on iPad would do, and I wish I could show you right now, but I'm under NDA, is you can modify a path after the fact while preserving, like you can delete an anchor point and preserve the look or the shape of the path. So you eliminate the headache of having to go back and tweak certain things, okay? So I just deleted a couple more anchor points because I wanted to just get this curve a little bit better here. The more you drag this handle out as well, the more this point is going to influence the shape that you're drawing. So that's something else to consider. All right. Okay. So my shape's a little bit more rigid than Latrice's, and that's okay. We all have different takes. I just tend to like more rational, symmetrical things personally. So that's kind of where I decided to go with this. All right, let's drag this down up a little bit. Now, to get these dots along your path here, I'm not sure. Let me see what you're doing. Yeah, so you're individually placing these, and I know that because I can just drag one of your circles and move them out of the way. All right, the background's going to be pretty easy. Yeah, I'll show you a cool way to do the background, a couple cool ways to do the background. And I think you're going for like some bubble shape or something, right? Maybe. So I'm going to borrow from our lovely lady here. And I'm going to take a section of this arm, delete the rest. I actually just duplicated what was on top to see if I could get your leaves. Okay. I assume they're leaves. And so I kind of want a pattern here. So now I'm going to pick the rotate tool. Hey, Lori. Pick the rotate tool. Nice avatar, Lori. And now I can hold Alt, and you'll notice the arrow changes on the screen just a little bit. So hold Alt here. I guess I can move my mic so I don't have to lean into it. And now I can kind of duplicate. All right, so I can duplicate these leaves. Oops. I can actually... If you want to repeat the transform that you just did, hit Control D. Okay, so for example, let's get this leaf in the right position first, and now I'm gonna hit Alt. Okay, I'm gonna hit Alt and rotate to like there, and then hit Control D, and now I have a duplicate. So I can throw this behind. I don't know if you've used Illustrator before, Lori, but that's what we're doing for Latrice today. And then I'm just going to go ahead and scale this one up. And now I can flip these. Oops. Just so I know what the other side's going to look like. Again, with the new Illustrator on iPad, there's some cool things that are going to be available to you. All right, but I'm gonna erase the one side here and redo this, so not too worried. Okay, let's go ahead and subtract. Oops. Why is that not working? Subtract what's in front. What? That's weird. All right, I'm just going to hide a couple things here, guys. So yeah, I don't know if you've used Illustrator, but it's worth diving into if you like doing graphic things or just kind of playing around. Oh, I forgot about that trick. So a long time ago, Adobe made some changes to Illustrator and the Pathfinder tool. And what you used to be able to do wasn't possible. I don't remember what it was specifically, but it was like this error that is giving me right now where I want to subtract the front from the back and saying, oops. And it's saying, no, you can't do that. At least it was. Let's see if it's doing it. Yeah. So no results. So if you hold Alt and then click, it'll actually do it. And then I have to, let me go to the actual Pathfinder window here. So window, because that's not the actual Pathfinder window. And I don't use Shape Builder. That's a bit newer, but now I can hit expand and I have the shape I want. So that's the little workaround I learned years ago and I still just use it. So I totally forgot that Illustrator will do that. So let's unhide what I have there. All right. And I'll go in and manipulate the lines in just a sec to give it a more organic feel like Latrice has, but I'll show you some quick shortcuts. All right. So let's make another artboard, mostly just for organizational purposes here. I'm going to clear this, just delete these things. And so there's a couple tools we can use here. The first one I want to show you guys is creating a brush. Okay, so just like in Photoshop, you can create brushes in Illustrator. So if I just want to take like a circle like this, for example, let's give it some stroke weight here, just like that, simple circle, right? We can create a pattern brush from this. So if I go to Window, Brushes, okay, let's make this a little bigger. You see there's different types of brushes. Here's a pattern brush at the bottom. So if I go New Brush, Pattern Brush, hit OK, boom. It's already telling me, oh, shoot, well, you want to repeat this shape. That's cool. It's asking me what I want to do on the corners as well. You can increase the spacing. So if I do 100% spacing, that means it's going to take the width of 100% of that shape and put between. So if I want a tighter fit, like Latrice has, we could do like 30%, something like that. You can hit add space to fit if you want, approximate path, whatever works for you is what I would recommend. Now, as far as corners go, like I say, if you want to go in here and define the corners, that's fine. We don't really have any super sharp corners and I can manipulate that as needed. So now I can just click on our lovely lady here and tap the brush, okay, and we'll have some shapes along that path. Now, I'm not sure why this is showing me auto sliced overlap, auto generated corner tiles. Oh, okay, I see what you're doing. I see. All right, I may have to tweak a couple things here. Let's go ahead and change the, yeah, I absolutely hate hate the new changes they've made. Lori says, I love the shape builder. I haven't gotten into it. I really haven't. Maybe I should. Is it worth learning? What's so great about shape builder? Because I don't know. All right, I'm trying to remember how to change the brush size. I forget, honestly. Okay, the other thing you can do, so there's not corners per se, is this little trick. So I'm gonna, oops. I'm gonna extend these handles like so. So instead of a corner, we just have a nice little round transition. So that way our brush can kind of flow around the design without hitting any sharp points. All right, I'm not worried about the bottom here either. In fact, if I want to pull this down just so it's off the page. And now let's make a new brush. I think it's through the stroke size is how I adjust the brush, I believe. But let's see. So I'm gonna make a new brush. Oops. New pattern, 30%. Okay, boom. So now I have that. I should be able to pick it. There we go. It's a little bit better. We got some weird stuff happening right through there. But like I said, if you just cut, trim, rejoin, sometimes you can get it looking got a little gap there. Okay, let me do this. Oops, I didn't mean to cut. I probably need to define, let's see, what am I telling it to do? Auto slice, auto overlap. Let's preview so we can see what it does, if anything at all. Add space, approximate. Dang it. All right, let's just make them smaller so no one will notice. It'll be our secret. It'll be our secret, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this in half. Lori says it dumbs down your shape a lot, but it's worth learning. Okay. If you insist. I'm an old fart though. I don't like learning new things sometimes. Okay, let me look at the original design here, which I believe that was not there. It was in Photoshop. Okay. Oh, I see. So you're coloring it in by hand, and you had this shape and the circles around it. Cool. So let's see if we can do something similar. Let's see here. All right, so I should be able to apply the same brush and use our same little trick here. Okay, so there's my little trick I'm going to use. And then you can also draw in Illustrator as well. Well, shoot, you want some of these circles colored in. I'm just realizing. Little trees. But yeah, if you increase the stroke, it will increase the size of the brush that you see on the canvas. And again, this is a little bit weird, but I think I might manually, I'll expand the shape and then manually just fix that one. Shouldn't be a big deal. Okay, so now for the background, what I like to do is, where is it? I hope this tool is still in here. The symbol sprayer tool. Okay, so the other thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take this circle. Okay, just like this. There's a couple ways to do this, actually. A couple ways to do this. But I think I'm gonna use the symbol sprayers tool because it is pressure sensitive and I can put these symbols wherever I want them to be. I'm just changing the music here. I did start making music. That's been fun. All right. Why are you not playing? Maybe it's just really quiet. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to go to symbols, and then with this highlighted, I can hit new symbol. Okay. This is actually a holdover from Adobe Flash or Macromedia Flash back in the day, but I'll show you what you can do here. So now that I've made a symbol, we can pick this tool called the symbol sprayer tool, and there's a bunch of different things you can do with this tool. So with my symbol here selected, it's almost like a spray can, so I can spray these symbols down on the page. If I just want random stuff, okay, just like this, we'll make it over here and then we'll apply it to the actual design since it's somewhat random. Okay, and you can see these symbols, they have like a bit of gravity or resistance to them. Okay, where did that... I guess it got absorbed in there. All right, so now I've got these symbols. Well, I can do some cool things. I can play with, for example, we can move these symbols. So if I just want to move them around, change the placement, right? You can just kind of move them around in this field like so. And then I can also push them together. I can make them different sizes. And this is what I wanted to do, just to get these to feel kind of random. All right, so this is one way to do it, depending on the look you're after. Depending on the look you're after for your design. So once you have that laid out, then we could drag it over here. And I can put that in the background and see how it feels, if it's where I want it to be, all that good stuff. But if not, then there's another way to do this. So if you wanted more of a pattern that were kind of gridded out, okay, we can make one of our shapes here. And let's see, let's give it some stroke. I'm gonna scale this down. All right, so I'm just gonna make a general pattern. This is my quick and dirty way. Oops. Just give it a bit more space. Something like that. All right. And we'll do the same thing vertically. Doesn't have to be perfect, but close to perfect. So now with all of these shapes, I can highlight all the shapes and I can do object, transform, each. Okay, so with all of them all of them selected, I can do something like 75%, 75%. Okay, just like that. But if I check this button random, okay, every time I slide this control, we're gonna get some random scale happening. And then you can also do that with move. So if you want to move it at random, okay, just hit that, and then now we can go Command D. But every time you do that, it's gonna make it 75% smaller. So now I need to go to Object, Transform Each, and then if I want to do 125 with random, hit OK. Oops. Got to make sure it's in both directions. So yeah, 125, 125, hit OK. And now I have like some random shapes. So just some quick and dirty ways to get random shapes in. But looking at yours, I think I'm gonna use the symbol sprayer tool to get this, and then we'll add the colors and throw that on a t-shirt. Okay, so for the background, let's jump back to my symbol sprayer tool here. You can also adjust the size of the sprayer tool. I'm trying to remember how to do that. I think it's the square brackets. Yes, so it's the square brackets. That doesn't adjust the size of the symbol. The symbol is what it is. If you want to adjust the symbol, then you can come in here and we can scale it down, for example. So we can make it a lot smaller if you want to reduce the stroke and so forth. And then we can exit. The symbols are also linked. Please don't crash. I think Illustrator is about to crash. It's been crashing a lot lately. If it crashes, I might call it quits. No. All right, while that's waiting, beach ballin'. I'm gonna have a beverage, cross my fingers, hope it doesn't crash. Woo! Okay, we're good, but I'm gonna save this just in case. All right. All right, so now that's saved. I'm gonna jump back to the symbol sprayer. So now they're smaller. You see that? Now they're a lot smaller. So I'm just gonna look at Latrice's design here. It does look more or less like a field. kind of a field of bubbles. All right, so as I add these sprays, you'll see they kind of push each other away a little bit. And we'll mirror this too. All right, so if I want more in one spot or the other, cool. I'm trying to remember, let's see, object, transform. I'm trying to remember. I think there's a way to have hue variation on colors, but we'll just pick them at random and do that. All right, no big deal. Okay. So now I've got my symbol field here. So I'm going to play with the symbol stainer tool. That's what it is. Stainer, screener, styler, sizer. Okay. So I want to make some of those a little bigger. So I'll just kind of push on the canvas where I want those variations to happen. If you want to shrink, I believe you hold shift. Yeah. Shift will make them, I think, either disappear or get smaller. I don't remember. It's been a minute. All right. I was so bugged today too. I got a better lens for my front camera. I always buy stuff used though. So anyway, I bought this thing. It showed up and it was totally let's see, object, just a sec. Object path, offset path. And I'm gonna hit OK. Anyhow, it was broken when I got it. Kind of stinks. Kinda stinks. Alright. So what I was trying to do is just make a shape on the inside of this right here. So I just offset the path. Okay. Because I'll add color to that, like Latrice's design here has. You know, colors, green, blues, whatever. So let's go back to Illustrator. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm in a pretty good place for your design. So you've got these bigger bubbles too. So I'll add those. I'll make sure I add those. All right. I'm gonna do this the hard way. So I'm just making the inside of these leaves. I probably shouldn't, but my music's been acting weird lately. Might be some licensing issue. We'll see. Anyway, I just made this shape, and I'll use this for the inside of these leaves. And then I'm going to show you some cool stuff in Photoshop, like when you're placing your design on a shirt, like if you wanted to get it ready to, you know, take a look at it, that kind of thing. So Sketch Day Live, thanks for joining, by the way. I know it's a little bit different today. I'm not even broadcasting on Instagram like I usually do. Because, you know, they like to see me draw. I mean, you guys like to see me draw too, but this is just a little bit different. So. Alright, don't worry about what I just did there. Okay, so now that should work. Alright, so let's finish up Lady Blue here. Lady Blue had some leaves, so I'm just gonna pick when you're working for, like, on a t-shirt, depending on the process. So understanding how the t-shirt's gonna be made is helpful. If it's gonna be screen printed, and they're using Pantone colors, for example, you'd want to use a Pantone color for your comp. I'm not gonna get into that right now, but Illustrator does have Pantone colors you can use. So you could go to swatches and then open swatch library, color books, and then you'll have Pantone. So CMYK uncoded, uncoded. Solid uncoded is what I would use. I guess let's just do it. So it's going to open up this palette here, and with all these colors, I can now go, and what that means is there's a specific color formulation for these colors that you see in the app. So if you're going to make a t-shirt or bag or some other sort of fashion item, they actually do have fashion colors as well as a book. I guess for Lori, since you're into fashion, but Pantone does have color books for that as well. I think they're the TP. I forget. Maybe they don't have them in here, but there is a Pantone book for. Oh, here's textiles. Maybe that's what it is. Let's see. No, I don't think so. But Pantone does have a book specifically for whatchamacallit, fabric. So anyhow, I'm just gonna go ahead and use those greens, and like I said, I was gonna fix this right here. So to fix that, I think what I'll do is I'm gonna go. Let's get the full lady blue first. And I don't want it to be symmetrical, so I'm gonna grab some of these anchor points. There's also a cool thing you can do in Illustrator, I should mention. So let's say you want to change the design so it's not perfectly symmetrical. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and delete that actually. So let's say you don't want it to be perfectly symmetrical. You can take the pencil tool, okay, and let's change a couple things on that tool. Just double click. I'm going to go to smooth in this case because I don't want it super tight. And then there's this option at the bottom that says edit selected paths within 6 pixels. So what's going to happen, just for good measure, I'm going to go ahead and hide the symbol. But here's the pencil tool. I can draw on the screen like I would in Photoshop, and you'll have shapes, okay, just like that. So what I can do is actually draw on this curve. Let's see, you got to make sure the curve's selected and then draw next to it. Why is this not working? There we go. Draw next to it like so. And now I can modify Lady Blue here. So if I want this arm to be down, for example, I could do that. Or just play with the way it terminates. It's just different things you can do using that pencil tool. So if we wanted it to be a bit less symmetrical and more expressive, for example, like Latrice's original illustration. But I just find starting with the rational geometry to be somewhat helpful when you're working on designs like this, just as a good starting point, you know. So let's get this hip a little higher here, maybe straighten out right there. Okay, so now it has more of the feel of the original, maybe a little shorter, but it works. Okay, so there's our green. So now I'm going to take these two shapes and combine them. All right, so got to make sure, you know, there's these anchor points, right? So there's an anchor point. There's the other one. So now I'm just going to drag a box, hit Control J. What's happening? All right, so let's pick these. Okay, boom. So now, yeah, there we go. So now I have a connected shape, okay? Just like that. Let's go ahead and fix a couple ting-tings on the drawing. And if the brush looks a little bit weird in spots, you can always like just play with the path until it relaxes it a little bit. And that can kind of help. You know, or we can modify the shapes, or maybe you just want those looks, and that's fine. We can deal with that. All right, so I've joined those paths together. So now I'm gonna join the bottom here. Not that I have to. In fact, I really don't have to. And I'm gonna take these leaves. Let's make a new layer. So there's a window here, layers, I'm gonna make a new layer and drag those to that layer so I can hide what I don't need, okay? I'm gonna do the same thing, make a new layer, and I'll just hide it. It's just a little cleaner. If you want to label your layers, you could as well, but I'm not gonna go through the trouble. Not right now. All right, so now I have my shape. I'm gonna go object. Actually, I do want to join that because it's annoying if I don't. So I'm gonna go object, path, offset path, and I want to go -5, maybe something less than that. So what would that be? 0.18 maybe. I'm just kind of guessing here. But I just want the inside of Lady Blue here. All right, just the inside so we can add color or whatever. And okay, so there's our leaves. So now these paths on the outside, in fact, what I really should do is just take one of these and duplicate it over and over. This chair is incredibly uncomfortable, by the way. I ordered a new stool that actually has padding because this one is insufferable when I stream. All right, how long have we been going? 43? Okay. This might just be the t-shirt show. I hope this has been at least informative, maybe a little different, entertaining for you in some way, but appreciate you watching nonetheless. All right, just had to fix the little thing there. Okay, so the brush stroke, now what I can do is object path, object expand appearance. Okay, so now this is gonna basically make this editable. And then object expand again. I want to expand fill and stroke. Hit OK. Now you'll notice there is a line here in between. Did I want to do fill and stroke? Let me think. I did not want to do fill and stroke, so let's go. Oh, it's already expanded. My bad. So I can just delete that. So now I have a string of these circles, right? Like so. And we can just manipulate and modify those. We can do the same thing here, but just because this is going to take forever if I do it this dumb way that I was doing it, we'll just do one of these and then duplicate, okay? So same thing here. Oh, that's why. Okay. So now I'm going to go object, expand appearance. Okay, now there's no path right there. All right, cool. So just as a baseline, you know, I could pick some sort of blue for the inside of these. Same thing here. I could use the same blue if I want, or just pick one from the Pantones again. That's a more reliable way to go. And then I want to make sure I capture. Okay, your blue on the inside has nothing. Okay, and then you've got these green leaves and a variety of blue bubbles. Cool. So, how's everyone doing, by the way? Got 15 people watching, I think. How's everybody doing? Hey. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. So I just made a duplicate on top, like so, and I'm just gonna pick. See, I don't even know what green I picked before. This is where it gets a little problematic, unless you track your colors. I wonder if they're in my swatches though. Let's see. Okay, that's gradient, color, swatches. Yeah, it does save them, so you can see here they're already added to the file. If I want to delete those, I can delete those from the file, right? So I duplicated this because I wanted to take the pencil tool now. I'm going to increase the threshold. But I can take the pencil tool, and if I want to introduce some texture, I can just draw along here, for example. It's going to look weird, but we can modify it. Just make sure you draw on the line. All right, Latrice. I did promise, so I was like, I gotta get this done. Show you some love. Latrice is one of our patrons, so thank you for the support. It does mean a lot. Like I said, 2020 has been an interesting year for all of us, so I do appreciate the support. However that comes, wherever, whenever, it means a lot. All right, so now I can duplicate this, and then I'll just scale it up, like so, just to modify, or sorry, add some variety. Do the same thing here. And there'll be some cleanup and whatnot too. All right. So Lady Blue on the inside. Let's see. Sketching Egyptian pyramids. Okay. Okay, that would be a fun topic actually. I could do like ancient ruins or something on a stream. That'd be fun. Yeah, you've got no line on the inside of your lady here, so I don't know why I have a line, but let's go ahead. Actually, a faster way to do this brush, now that I think about it, would have been to just do the colors and then have those be repeated because of how you have your design right there, where it's all alternating. So let's try that. Let's try that out. My kids are going nuts in the next room over. Did I save? No, I did not save it. No. You know what? I'm not gonna do it. I am not gonna do it. Too much work. All right, so now we got our bubbles in the background. All right, so I'm gonna pick those, and then I wonder if I should do that in Photoshop. I wonder. So let's move these over. And maybe scale this a little bit, like so. Okay. So I'll go to Object, Expand. All right, boom. Now I have these symbols, and I can go Object, Expand again, and it's going to expand those objects. So now they're individual, okay? And I can treat them similarly if I want, or if I want a different color, for example, like this purple. If I want to get rid of the stroke, I am going to get rid of the stroke because of how I envision this on the shirt and the color of the shirt. Unless you wanted this on a white shirt, which I guess, yeah, if it's on a white shirt, maybe. But even then, I'm going to get rid of the stroke on both of these. Oops. There we go. So now I've gotten rid of my stroke. Has a more delicate feel here. And now this is where I can, you know, erase some of these or individually manipulate, move, whatever I've got to do. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and lock this so I can move some of these around. So the symbol sprayer tool may not be perfect. Maybe you want to clarify something or add some clarity. You can kind of do that here. Now, if you're doing a digital print, I should mention, you don't have to worry as much about, hey, did I get the right Pantone color? I like to do pure colors when I do t-shirts, and I don't really do like gradients and all sorts of funny stuff. I shouldn't say funny stuff, but I try not to think that I'm gonna print an image. For the most part, I like clean graphical things. So we did the majority of the work rather with the symbol sprayer and manipulation there. And so this is just a little fine tuning. All right, if I want to add some more of these down in here, create little clusters, we can do that. Feels pretty good. And I actually like the purple, so I'm going to stick with the purple. just as another color in the mix. Okay, and I'm gonna have these. Oh, that's the other thing I was gonna critique you on, Latrice, on your design is you want to try and think of it as a self-contained thing. Unless you're doing an all-over t-shirt print, then I would say, you know, you can do like an edge-to-edge design. But you'll notice here I'm trying to stay away from the square edges a little bit. Let's get some variety in here as well. I'm trying to stay away from the edges because I don't want it to feel cut off as a design. Okay, do you see what I mean? So yours, you know, kind of cut off a little bit. If you save your history, if your save history is far enough along, you can save the current as a new doc and then go back to history, retrieve the path. I don't know. I don't know. I wish I could, but Illustrator it's fun to use. It's a different beast though. And I don't think I've done some Illustrator stuff on the channel in the past, but you know, we'll call this the creating a t-shirt design show for today. Just as something a little different. I've actually drawn in Illustrator. I had a client years and years and years ago. I think I've mentioned it before, but in I think it was Dubai, something like that. And they needed a giant illustration, so the only way for me to really do it in an efficient way was to draw in Illustrator, and that's what I did. So sometimes that's what you got to do. Oops. Okay, so it's looking pretty good, feeling varied a little bit. Let's go ahead and address these leaves. This leaf situation here. I feel like I keep duplicating and deleting these, but all right. I'm going to ungroup these because they're all grouped, and then did I? I did not. Okay, ungroup. And I'm going to deselect the dots. Why are you doing this to me, Illustrator? All right, we're going to have to do this the hard way. You ever like are sure you've done something? Do I ever use Live Trace for my sketches? No, I don't. Live Trace is one of those things that when it was first introduced, I was excited about it, but then as I got to use it, I was like, what is this? So I tend to avoid it. There's this really talented dude. I'll post a link in the chat here. He does vector illustrations in Illustrator. Let's see. Let me see if I can find him. Some of his work, I mean, his work's been featured on like he does work for the NBA, MLB. It's crazy. But he does all vector stuff. So that's his link if you want to check it out. I can't read what Mr. Sweet Roman is. Perhaps Svetlana and Art can translate for me. I would appreciate it. All right, so let's just do a little cleanup here. All right, and that, like I said, that kind of just involves, okay, if something doesn't feel right, I'm gonna just manually correct it. Okay, so there we had two weird bubbles, and I didn't really like that. Same thing here. I'm just gonna delete the ones I don't like. I can kind of see this poking through right here, so I'm gonna hit Control Y. Now I can see my overprint preview. Hit Y, boom. That just goes down to like the raw vector lines. Makes the file really lightweight, so I can kind of be surgical about it, if you will. All right, so maybe we'll do something like that for that one. There we go. I'm gonna hide Lady Blue for a minute. Oh, okay. I don't know what that means, but thank you. Assuming that's a good thing. Okay. All right, so now we've got the blue there. So I need a way to finish off the bottom here. You know, with these leaves and stuff. And also Lady Blue herself. So sometimes it's easier to just put your vector design behind something else, and then it just obscures it. Sometimes that's easier. And if I need to come in, I can come in and, you know, delete a few things. So right about here, it looks like I don't need those. All right, so I'm gonna take these three. Actually, here's a quick trick. So I have all these blue dots right now. They're not really grouped together. Well, I guess they are now. If they weren't grouped together, there's a trick you can use to like select all of those. All right, so I'm using a tool here. It's the lasso tool. There is a lasso tool in Illustrator as well. So I'm just gonna go select these like so. Okay, so now those are selected. I can delete just to clean up the file. And now I'm gonna exit out of this group that I had made. Okay, let's delete a few of these as well. I'm gonna go from here. Actually, no. Stop it. Yeah, I'll go from there. All right, so now I've got my dots and my leaves. I'm going to group those, and now I'm going to flip those on my guide here. Just a nice mirror. Looks like I left some stuff deselected. All right, so now I should be able to do that. There we go. So now I kind of have this cool shape here. Let's make the artboard a little bit bigger. So now I got to figure out what to put down here. All right, I had this idea. Your drawing's super trippy. I like this idea of like a heart almost. Like an upside down heart. Again, this is why I use pure shapes when I can. It just makes it so much easier. All right. So intersect on that guide. And I want to blend these shapes together. So I'm just trying to mirror these. This is gonna be kind of dirty, I'm sure. Right in there, yep. So let's drag those together. Merge. All right, this is annoying. I think what's happening is this. Yep, that points off. That's what was happening. There. So that should be better now. I can continue my path down. The circle's even off. Alright, let's try this one more time. Snap to the guide. Okay. Snap to the circle. Alright. Is this where Shape Builder comes in handy? I just don't like things that make it too easy. Maybe I'm a bit of a control freak when it comes to my design stuff. All right, so now I should be able to merge these. There we go. And I had this idea of like doing, how would I do this? It would have to be like this, I guess. Oh, here's what we can do. So I'm gonna take this shape, put one on top, like so, and then we'll make it just a little narrower. We'll tweak it a little bit. Try and do like an upside down progressive heart that then morphs into another heart. Get your minds out of the gutter, people. Why are you being this way, Illustrator? All right, so let's say I wanted to go from like, I don't know, red or something. I guess we have our Pantones here. And I wanted to go to, yeah, if I want to go to that blue. And let's go ahead and get rid of our strokes. I can hit Command Alt B. Oh, hello, Ed. Thanks for finding me. We're just doing some t-shirt stuff today for Fan Latrice. So I'm gonna double click on that blend tool icon. Is that it? No, my bad. It's this one. And then I'm gonna do specified steps. So I can say I want you to blend over 4 steps. And now I have a cool, like, illustrative thing. Latrice wasn't gonna say anything, man. It's all good. It's all good. All right, so now I have this kind of blended. Let's try this one more time. It's kind of blended heart thing. This is a design from one of our patrons, Latrice, and I'm just trying to create and give some feedback here on his design. So that's what I'm doing today. All right, just coming up with something he wanted me to take a look at. Appreciate the support from all our patrons, like I said. Turkey neck. Oh yeah, maybe. Let's go back to our greens here. I gotta find. Oh. I want like a deep. Oh, this is annoying. Okay, so in Illustrator, you have to make sure you're picking the right color to manipulate. So I'm gonna pick the fill, and then manipulate it. Otherwise, you'll be frustrated. It actually looks kind of cool with the bluish green. Bluish green's kind of nice. So I'm going to take my pencil here. Just connect that. I'll bring that back to the front. All right, so we got the beginning of something interesting here. I'm gonna go ahead and pick these. Let's get rid of our stroke as well. So this is where symmetry on Illustrator on the iPad will come in handy, because you can just work on this design and have it like look symmetrical the whole way through. All right, so Lady Blue, I feel like Lady Blue needs to be blue on the inside, but I don't know what to put inside Lady Blue. So and I want to kind of mimic what we did here with the heart somehow. So maybe it's another heart of some sort. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Maybe this is... Maybe I'll just make it a hand-drawn fill. So I'm just using the pencil tool. Don't worry about the little jagged edges. Illustrator will do its best to kind of fill those in. Actually, yeah, that would work. All right. So now I'm going to pick this blue color for the inside of Lady Blue. Let's go ahead and modify a little bit more here. Get a little bit surgical with it. Yeah, so maybe something like that. I'm gonna put this on its own layer because I kind of want this thing to just be on top, and then I can just lock it in place. Can modify this, and let's see. I could do something fun, you know, like we could just have some cool shape on the inside here. And then do another kind of blend. Or just pick like a deeper blue or something. All sorts of stuff we can do. I think I'm going to switch back though from Pantones because picking Pantones is hard. Unless you know exactly what you want. I feel like it's really hard to just do on the screen. Actually, that's not too bad. But it is hard to do on the screen, so. They do make Pantone books. So if you need like a really specific color. Sorry, my search thing keeps coming up because I'm hitting spacebar and my command button on my Mac here. All right, maybe I will modify this a little bit. And then I want to do another heart right there. Keep it kind of illustrative, and I'm just going to pick one of these colors, these beautiful colors from the bottom that we had. Pretty cool. So these shapes here, again, I wasn't worrying about them because now I can just flip these and I have them on the other side. And for purposes of space, like I was saying before, I just want to make sure the design doesn't look too squared off. So now I'm going to come in and strategically delete some of these on the edge or move them even further out. And that's just going to help this feel somewhat random and not exactly like, oh, you actually just mirrored that. So introducing a little bit of random in here will kind of help, I think. All right. And there's some cleanup where the arms are different on either side. We've got this little weird bit here that we don't need. Can move some of these things. And so Latrice, if you wanted to go in and change the color of your dots, you could do that as well. It's also something you could do. This actually turned out kind of cool. Thanks for trusting me and letting me play with your design a little bit. This was really fun and different. I wasn't quite sure where it was gonna head at first, but I'm gonna turn off my smart guides here Smart guides are Illustrator's way of just helping you align things. Just helps you align things. I can turn off guides. All right, so let's say this is our design, and we're like, I want to put this on a shirt. Well, how do you do that? That is the question. Oh, you got your email to test Illustrator. Yeah, let me know what you think, man. I've been using it for a while. There's some really cool things about it. There's some really frustrating things about it. But one thing I do know about Adobe, and no, they're not paying me to say this, is they do work hard when there's a new product to like get it up to speed fast. I remember when Adobe XD came out and it was absolutely terrible. Like, it was just so bad. And pretty quickly they were able to iterate and make it awesome. So all right. Yeah, this is kind of cool. I don't know what it means as a symbol, but it's kind of cool. So thanks again for trusting me with this. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and save what I did. The easy way to do this, honestly, is just highlight everything. Make sure nothing's locked. Okay. I'm going to select this. I'm just going to hit copy. All right. And let's jump over to Photoshop. So in Photoshop, if I want to make just a t-shirt mock-up, now, let's say you have a design, whatever. I made one the other day. Let's see if I can find it. Probably not. Is this it? Yeah, I put this on a t-shirt the other day, but I'll show you how I would do it. So fortunately, in the latest versions of Photoshop, what they've done now is you can just go to, not even just Photoshop, but Adobe Creative Cloud. You can go to Adobe Stock and you can find templates. It's pretty cool. But there are other templates that you can find. Just Google t-shirt template, look for one that's free. If you want to give them a contribution, that's cool. Go for it. So if I go to new and then print, okay, I have these template options here. Okay, these presets. So if I wanted to, like if I wanted to make, you know, a woman's t-shirt, I could do that. I guess we could do this as a woman's t-shirt. Let's do that. So let's hit C preview. Gives you a preview of what this is. Cool. I can hit download. Continue. Let's see how this goes. Adobe Stock comes with your Adobe Creative Cloud resources. So pretty easy to find something like a template. I'm going to turn off my picture-in-picture so you can see what's up. All right, let's see how we're doing here. Hour 15. Okay. So I'm going to hit open. So it's going to open this template, right? And I've got options here. I can do the front and back. And the templates tend to be somewhat organized. So it says your design here. If I double click on your design here, okay, if I double click on that, it's going to ask me to, hey, you're opening a smart object. That's actually kind of cool because here is the placeholder design and I can just hit paste. All right, and this is the design I came up with. Oops. And I can place that. Okay, hit enter. Make sure I hit save and then go back, and now it's updated. Just like that, dude. But I wanted to show you some other cool things you can do. So let's say you had your own t-shirt template. So I took a picture of a wrinkled up t-shirt that I had on the floor. It's not the nicest looking. This is so annoying. Okay, it's not the nicest looking t-shirt, but we can do a couple things. We can clean this up a bit with the healing brush. All right, you can kind of go in there and paint a little bit, paint out some of these wrinkles if you want. It's gonna do its best, you know, using what do they call it? Content aware fill. So if you want to iron your shirt with Photoshop, you can use the healing brush and it should help you out a little bit. Some things might end up looking a little funky, so I probably should have cleaned up this shirt a little bit more first. But let's say I wanted to put my design on this, but I want it on a clean white background, for example. couple things we can do here. So I can do select subject. I don't know if you guys know about this tool. So if you tap select subject in Photoshop, that's going to let you pick the subject of the photo. It's smart enough that it's going to go, oh, it's a t-shirt. Cool. So now I can duplicate that, right? And I like to work non-destructively, so I'm just going to clip that out. If you want to refine the edge, that's also something we can do. So let's go select, modify. Oh, I'm trying to remember. They hid it. Let me see if I can do it here. Select subject. Okay. And then is it select and mask? I'm trying to remember. Oh goodness. Yeah, so they hid the refine edge tool in one of the releases. So it's coming back, I will say, in the next release of Photoshop. But I'm just gonna go ahead and I went to quick mask mode, which is gonna allow me to just kind of paint and fix some of the weird stuff here. So I can just paint with a brush and clean up. All right, and if I want to add something, I can just switch my color. So a little bit of fine tuning, but if you're just in a hurry and you didn't even have a photo studio, okay, to take a picture of your shirt, you can use Photoshop to kind of just take the subject out of any background, basically. It's really cool. Some of this stuff I'm not even going to worry about. And I also took this photo with my iPhone, so it's not the best photo, but it does the job. All right, so now if I hit Q again, I have that selection. We can get rid of everything there. I'm going to double click on the layer, give it a drop shadow. Let's increase the size of the drop shadow, the direction of the light. Let's see, is it a distance? A distance. And then I'm going to lower the spread a little bit, increase the distance. There we go. And the size, drop the opacity. Just so there's a little something there. On the shirt itself, I'm going to desaturate it. And then, oops. And now I can just paste my design on, like so. And we can play with the blending mode on this shirt. So something like color dodge. If I duplicate this layer and let's do normal, and then on top of that we just have a little color dodge, and I play with the opacity. I'm trying to basically get actually it's not the best way to do it, but I'm trying to get the wrinkles to show up a little bit better. So let's see, maybe it's the opacity we can play with. Yeah, we can play with the opacity a little bit, but find a blending mode that works to kind of bring out those wrinkles in the shirt. Something like a linear dodge, for example. All right, so now you've got your design on your own t-shirt template. All right, but you can kind of see here, that's why I didn't want to square off the design as much. So if I were actually going to do this, maybe even taking some of these, you know, and then kind of spreading them out a little bit, adding to the design. So just so it doesn't feel like this was in a square, you know. So that would be my next step, is kind of modifying this so it feels a bit better. But again, pretty easy. You can see here there is a way to just get a template from Adobe. I should actually look at how they're doing this. Oh, they have a shadow overlay. So it's an overlay on the design for the shadows. So maybe that's what I would have to do to make my own template, but I'm not going to go into that right now. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful for you, Latrice. I will go ahead and upload this file for you Patreons, both of these, if you want to play with it. So we'll call this sketch day T, and I'll just save this to my desktop, and then I'll save this as sketch a day T2. Save that to the desktop. Okay. All right. So I'll upload those. I'll also upload the Illustrator file. Let's make sure I save that as well. So that'll be available to you, Patreon. So thank you so much for the support. Thanks guys for watching. Hope you learned something. I know this is a little bit different. I was ready to draw, and then I thought, you know, I gotta take care of Latrice. It's a real one. So if you have any other ideas, suggestions, Svetlana and Art, you always have great suggestions. So if there's something you want to see, let me know. I'd be happy to sketch that. I was going to draw an apple with markers because one of my kids was like, Dad, you should just draw an apple. And I was like, okay, I'll do an apple. So maybe I'll do some fruit, some still life stuff. I don't know what's coming. Tomorrow I'm going to be a bit busy, but I will be streaming as well as Friday and Saturday. Hopefully. Definitely Sunday. So much love to you guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Peace and love.